Namaste, everybody. And my Atma Pranams to Brahmarshi Pitamah Patriji. My dear friends, my dear masters, and my dear gods. A few weeks ago, we talked about a topic that is 8 secrets of extraordinary life. Today, we are going to talk about another important topic, that is 6 daily habits to create a holy life. I also gave another title for this topic, that is 6 habits to fix your life. I always try to put some rhymings in my titles so that people can remember it very well. Whenever there is a rhyme, it's easy to remember. That's what we used to sing in the old days. Rain, rain, go away, come again another day. Like way and day are the rhyming. So that's what we remember. Even though we learn at very young age, we still remember, even if we are. So that's why 6 daily habits to create a holy life, or 6 habits to fix your life. This is very important because we are all meditators and spiritual seekers assembling here. Before I go into the actual topic of 6 daily habits to create holy life, first I would like to talk about life. And then we can talk about what are those 6 daily habits to influence our life. Actually, the content of this topic is very large, so I may not be able to finish the complete topic today because of the amount of content in it. I will try to do my best, but I don't want to rush it because I want everybody to get a gist of it so that we can try to implement in your daily lives. But I will try to stop if I can't complete at appropriate time so that we can continue this topic on next Thursday. Okay, having said it, let me talk about life. What is life? What is the unit of time? The basic unit of time is a second. 1 second is the basic unit of a minute. In the minute, there are 60 seconds. So 1 second is the basic unit of a minute. At the same time, 1 minute is the basic unit of an hour. Whenever we talk about an hour, we talk about 60 minutes. So 1 minute is the basic unit of an hour. In the same way, 1 hour is the basic unit of a day. 24 hours make a day. So 1 hour is the basic unit of a day. Now the real thing comes. 1 day is the basic unit of what? It's not the month, because some months have 28 days, some months have 30 days, some months have 31 days. So I don't want to go there. It's not the years. So some have leap years, some have normal years, some have 365 days, some have 366 days. So I'm not going there. So without the month and the year, 1 day is the basic unit of what? The answer is
Life.
One day is the basic unit of our life.
Life.
One day is the basic unit of our life. Basically, one day of life is nothing but the micro unit of our life. One day is nothing but a micro unit of our life. Let me explain how it is. In our life, what happens? We take a birth, we grow, and we get older and get tired and get older, and then we die. Then we go out of life and we won't be in life. Then after some, we will have a rebirth. That's how our life goes. In the same way, in the morning, we are born. When we wake up from sleep, it is our birth. And the whole day, we grow. We take so many things. In the evening or in the night, we get tired. We get old. On the night, we sleep where we die. During sleep, we don't know where we are. During sleep, we don't know whether we are there or not. So we sleep in the night. We don't know our existence. We are not aware of our existence. In the same way that we don't have our awareness of our existence even after death. So after the night, the next day morning, we take a rebirth again. This is the day which is nothing but the basic unit of our life. That's the reason why I called sleep is nothing but a temporary death. And the definition of death is nothing but a permanent sleep. Again, sleep is nothing but temporary death, and death is nothing but permanent sleep. But here the important thing is, we are all afraid of death, but we are not afraid to sleep. Why? Because when we die, we won't come back into the same body. But when we sleep, we come back into our same body. Because we have been coming back into our same body after sleep, so when we sleep, we have confidence that, oh, next day morning, I will come back into my own body. That's the reason we are not afraid of death. Sorry, afraid of sleep. But in the death, it's not like that. We don't come back into the same body. We come into don't know which body we will come back. Because we have so much attachment to our body. And when we die, we don't come back into our body. That is the reason we are afraid of death. That's how I explain the one day is the basic unit of our life. So we live a day in the same way we live our life. So now I go to the next step of this topic. So first we will confirm that one day is the basic unit of our life. Now, according to the census of the United States, in 2025, the average life expectancy of human beings is 80 years. So some may live 100 years, some may live 90 years, but some may live 50 years, some may live 40 years, some may live 60 years. But An average life expectancy of the human beings are 80 years. There is an average. This means if we convert these 80 years into the months, 80 into 12 is 960 months. It means that we live for 960 months. That's it. Less than 1,000 months we live. Again, if we convert that 960 months into the days, it will come around 28,600 something. To be a round figure, I put it as a 29,000 days. That means we live for 29,000 days on an average. Every human being live on this planet for 29,000 days on an average. That means less than 30,000 days. That's all the life is about. Just 29,000 days. That's not the end of it. There's some more math that we need to do. So let us put 30,000 days that we live, like 80 years. That is 960 months. 960 months is nothing but 29,000 days, approximately 30,000 days. We spend our time in sleep almost 8 hours a day, in 24 hours a day. That means we spend our time in sleep without knowing ourselves, where we don't have an awareness of ourselves, the 1/3 of each day. That means in 30,000 days that we live, we spend our time in sleeping the 1/3 of the 30,000 days. That is, we spend in sleep 10,000 days of our life. So we live for 29,000 days, that is 80 years. And out of that, almost 1/3 of our days are spent in sleep in a passive way. So if we subtract that 10,000 days from 29,000 days that we live, the remaining days are only 19,000 days. It means we actively live for only 19,000 days, not even 30,000 days. It is less than 20,000 days. That is all human life all about. That's not enough. We still go further. For a human being to come under the shelter of the spirituality, normally they don't come below 30 years. Normally they come to understand about the spirituality. They want to know about the purpose of our life. They want to lead the meaningful life. This interest comes when we pass 30, when we are in mid-30s. Even we can have a live example right here. All the people that are attending this talk now, right now, that are there listening this talk in front of me, most of you are in your mid-30s. If we take an average, the age of all the attendees that are attending this talk, we are almost around 35 years of age. That means on an average, we already lived 35 years of our life. 35 years means 35 into 365, it will come to 13,000 days. Anybody have a calculator, you can calculate it. 35 years are equal to 13,000 days. Because we have already lived on an average 35 years of our life, so we have already lived 13,000 days. So we actively live for 19,000 days after taking off 10,000 days in sleep. And from that 19,000 days, we have already lived 13,000 days. So if we subtract the days that we have already lived, that in 13,000 days, from the 19,000 days which we actively live, we are left with 6,000 days. Even some people like me even have less than that many days. So we all are left with only 6,000 days on this planet. This is the math of our life. We have only 6,000 days to live. Converted those 6,000 days into months, we have only 2,200 months to survive. Converted those 200 months into years, we have only 16 years to thrive. We can call those 16 years as sweet 16. You can call those 16 years or sour 16 years, or you can call those 16 years as a bitter 16 years. Whatever way that you want to live the rest of your life, you have only 16 years left. 200 months left, only 60,000 days left to live your life in whatever way that you want to live. It means we have already lived more than half of our total life of 19,000 days. Even that's not right. Actually speaking, we already lived the 2/3 of your life, 35 years, that is 13,000 days we already lived. So we are left with only 1/3 of our life, that is 6,000 days of our life. Now, let us think how we want to spend these 6,000 days. Let us analyze how important are these 6,000 days that are left in your life. Suppose we are known for procrastination of the time. We are all known for to postpone things. If you want to postpone the way that you want to live your life, if you waste for 2 months, that is 60 days, for 6,000 days, 60 days, 1% of our life is wasted. If we waste for 2 months, that is 60 days, 1% of our life is wasted. If you waste for 1 year, your time, if your procrastination of your desire to live for a meaningful life for 1 year, you are wasting 6% of your life is wasted. At the same time, if you want to live a meaningful life and make some good habits, and if you want to make up 100% to make up your life, and if you want to improve 1% a day, in 30 days, you can improve 30% of your performance to reach the goal of your life. In 3 months, you can reach to the 90% level. In 3 months, 10 days, you will reach to the maximum potential, the way that you need to live your life. That's the way, that's the power of living with 1% of increase in your life for the way that you want to live your life. So to lead your life, we have only two options to live the remaining days of our life. One way, we can live with pains and pleasures of material worlds of comforts, like food, clothes, home, car, kids, and going through all these cycles and call it as a life. The 6,000 days will pass away and you will end your life enjoying the pains and pleasures of this material world, enjoying food, clothes, homes, car, kids, whatever. All those. This is called an ordinary life. This is the one way to live. And you have another way of living. We also can live knowing our purpose of our life, fulfilling the remaining meaning of life, and fulfilling it in remaining 6,000 days. This is called extraordinary life. This is called holy life. I am sure you all want to live that extraordinary lives. Otherwise, you would not have been here listening to my talk today. I am sure you want to know the purpose of your life and fulfill it in remaining 6,000 days. I am sure you all want to lead a meaningful life, knowing the meaning of it in remaining 6,000 days. Otherwise, you would not have been here. Okay. How do we live that meaningful life and purposeful life in this remaining 6,000 days? For anything to be achieved in life, we need two things. Number one is motivation. Number two is the confidence. We need to have a motivation that we can do this travel of the spiritual journey. And at the same time, we should have a confidence that I can reach the goal in this remaining 6,000 days. If we want to climb a ladder, there are two bamboos on the side, which we hold with our hands when we climb the steps with our legs. We hold the two bamboos, vertical structures, with our hands. One hand is nothing but motivation. The second hand is nothing but confidence. When we hold those bamboos with the confidence and the motivation, then with the help of these two, we can climb the ladder, each steps of the ladder successfully and reach to the last and final step of the ladder. So motivation is the spark that should be ignited in us to live a meaningful life. I am sure you all motivated. Otherwise, you all would not have been here. Then, who is our motivator? I am not. I am not your motivator. You don't know that I am going to talk about this today. So I have not motivated you. So who is your motivator? How you got motivated? Our motivated for you and for me, for all of us, the motivator is our spiritual master, Brahmarshi Pitamaha Patriji. He already kindled that spark of motivation in us. Our spiritual master, Brahmarshi Pitamaha Patriji, already ignited that spark of motivation in us. When we got that motivation, when we did our meditation on a regular basis, and after experiencing the experiences of the meditation, now, in addition to that motivation, we are now confident that if we continue this journey of your spiritual journey, we are all confident that we can achieve the success at the end of your journey. So we got motivated and we have confidence, so we can successfully embark this journey. All we are doing here is to make the spark more and more brighter. All we are doing is to make that flame a more and more brighter till it shows us the way to our destination of salvation or self-realization. All we are doing here is to make the spark more and more brighter till it shows us the way to our destination of salvation or self-realization, where our Pitamaha Patriji reached, remaining there, waiting for us to meet us there in the dreamland of salvation and self-realization. So let us try to find out what we should do to brighten our light day by day, so that we can see the path that Patriji traveled through. Let us explore how to open up our inner hidden potential to lift ourselves to the heights where our Patriji reached. Let us know how to climb the ladder one step at a time. The same ladder that our Grand Master Brahmarshi Pitamaha Patriji climbed and successfully reached the source of our being. By climbing the same ladder, we also can climb and reach the successfully the source of our being. Let us say, for example, that we want to climb the ladder that was very, very, very tall. If we look at the last step of the ladder to be reached, the fear sets inside our mind, make us feel that it is impossible to reach there. So this prevents us from getting on the first step of the ladder. If the initially see at the destination, then we may be afraid with all these attachments, with all these family disturbances, we may be afraid that we may not reach the destination of salvation and self-realization. In the same way, when we look at the last step of the very long ladder, in the last step, we may certain a fear may set in our mind, which make us feel that it is impossible to reach there. This prevents us from getting on to the first step of the ladder. That's the reason, by looking at our bondings, by looking at our attachments, if we think about this thing, even if it is difficult for us to enter the first step of the journey of the self-realization and salvation. But instead, if we look at one step of the ladder at a time and concentrate on only that one step before us, without looking a step above or step below. And by concentrating on one step each time, we can climb that step very successfully. By completing the tasks of climbing of each step of the ladder one by one, we eventually end up in successful completion of the activity of reaching to the end of the ladder. Each step of the ladder is equal to each day of our life. If we live our life in such a way that we live our complete life, if we live our day also in the same way, we end up living our life successfully at the end of the life. In this context, I would like to explain one life story because so far it has been very serious. So let us divert a little bit to have some amusement, to talk about a personal story of how we should climb our lives. In my village, there was a small, they're not a small well, it's a big well, where there is an arch over that well, and that there is on the top, there is a pulley, we call it as a gilaka, and we put the rope over the gilaka or that pulley, and at the end we tie the bucket, and then we run the rope. We let the rope goes down to the well with the bucket and get the water, and then we pull the rope. The bucket comes out, and we use that, get the water out like that. And when I was a child in my teenagers, a bucket fell down in the well. At that time, my eldest brother, who works in the military, was visiting for us for his vacation. And when the bucket fell down inside the well, my parents were about to call somebody who can get inside the well and get the bucket out. Then my brother, who is a military man, told my parents, no, 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 don't call anybody. Anil is old enough to get into the well and get the bucket out. Anil, let's go, he stopped. I was really afraid. I was about to run away from there. Knowing my, understanding my gesture, he held my hand and took me to the well. Then I must tell them, I can't do this. I can't do this. I have never done this. I'm afraid of this. No, you are going to do this. It's very easy. All I will do is, at the end of that rope, I will make a knot, and you will put one of your foot inside that knot, and you will hold with your two hands that rope. Then by the way of that pulley, I gradually let you go down over the rope, you holding the rope with your hands and putting one of your feet on the knot, then I will drop you down with the help of the rope very slowly so you can get the bucket out. Okay, I agree. That's very easy, like a fun. Then I put my one feet in the knot, and I held the rope with my two fingers, with my two hands, and using that pulley, he released me down. I went down very nicely. Within a minute, I was at the bottom of the well. The water was not that deep. It was only off my belly button deep. Then I did. Then easily I could get the bucket out. And I tied that bucket to the rope. Then they pulled that bucket up. Then they removed the bucket from the rope, and again they dropped the rope back down. I was thinking, again he would pull me up again in the same way he pushed me down with the help of the rope, thinking that I would put my ankle inside that knot and holding the rope with my hands so that he can pull me up easily so I can come up. So when I was about to do this, he said, "No, I am not going to pull up you like this. You have to climb the steps that are there on the edge of the inner edge of the well. With the help of this rope, you have to gradually climb out up through the steps of the well, and you need to come up. I am not going to pull you with the help of this rope in the same way as you put you inside the well." Oh my God, this was a nightmare for me. There is no way, and I cannot come. Please pull me up. No, if you don't want to come, be there. If you want to come on the way that I was, the way you told me. But there is no other way for me. So I tried and I pulled, and one step, two step, three step I went, and I was looking on the top. It was very, very, very furious experience. Then I was afraid of whenever I look at the top because of the very deep well, and I fell down back into the water many, many times. Then I was crying for the help. "No, I can't come. Please pull me up." Then he told me, "Anil, I am not going to pull you up, but I will tell you how you can successfully climb up and come up. The way that you can successfully come up is hold the ladder, hold the rope, and just look at the step that is there right in front of you. Don't look up the last step that you are going to say or look at. And don't go to look at down at the bottom of the well. Just look at the step that is there against you at one step that you are yet. And then you climb in such a way that there is only one step that you need to reach. Take the help of the rope and reach that step. Once you reach that step, close your eyes. Don't look at the top. Don't look at the down. Look at that only at the step. Take a break. After taking a break and get some energy, look at only one step that is your next to the next step. Don't look at the top. Don't look down. And then you gradually climb one more step as if there is only one more step to climb. And then go there. Again, take a break, close your eyes, get some more energy, and do the same thing each step at a time, enjoying there and get the good experience of that. So if you keep doing that, within due time, you will come out and reach out of this well. So I followed this his advice. I concentrated one step at a time, and successfully I climbed every step that is there in the well, and finally I came out of the well successfully. And whenever I read Bhagavad Gita, I remember that thing, karmanyeva adhikara haste ma phaleshu kadachana. So don't really think about the result of the work, but enjoy the work that you do, but the result will come automatically. That's the reason you always enjoy the journey, not the destination. In the same way, if we live our life also each day as if that day is the only day that we have to live, and if you live that one day fully, then each day, if you keep living that, your whole life will be a life of the fulfillment. So that's way we need to live our each day to finally that way we can live the very, very, very meaningful and successful life. So in the same way, each day our life is same way, each day our life is equal to one step in the ladder. Each day of our life is equal to one step in that well. If we live that one day, the same way that we want to live our life, and if we successfully climb that one step of the ladder of the life successfully each day, by living every day this way, without our knowledge, we end up reaching the top of the ladder of our life very, very successfully. As you live your days, so you will live your life. As you live your days, so you will live your life. As you live your life, so you die your death. As you live your days, so you will live your life. As you live your life, so you die your death. As you die your death, so will be your rebirth. As you die your death, so will be your rebirth. Again, as you live your days, so you will live your life. As you live your life, so you die your death. As you die your death, so will be your rebirth. So, the secret of your future is your daily habits, your daily routine of your habits. So the secret of your future life is nothing but your daily routine habit of your life. So small habits that you practice every day. It may look very, very easy for you. It may look very simple for you, but they are the small habits will yield the great results of your life. But if they are the good habits, always they face the initial resistance. If any good habits that you want to develop in life, you will face the initial resistance that habits don't want to form. They will be against you. They will create some resistance. But if you continuously persist, consciously persistence, if you consciously keep trying and applying those habits, by conscious persistence of these habits, the conscious persistence of these habits help us to overcome that resistance. But once the phase of resistance is passed, only up to certain stage that phase of resistance occurred. But if you consciously attack those phases of resistance by following these habits, then it passes that phase of resistance. That habits get hardwired in the brain, creating a automatic circuit in the brain. Then they become a unconscious, subconscious habits. So then it is difficult to break these good habits as they start working from subconscious level, just like driving your car, listening to the music, talking to the phone. In the same way, then your habits will be operated by your subconscious mind. So, what are those daily habits that can shape our life? What are those daily habits that your kindle your energy of your life? What are those daily habits that put you on the pedestal of your life? And what are those daily habits that make you reach the wonderland of salvation and self-realization, where we can meet our Brahmarshi Pitamaha Patriji? That we will talk on next Thursday. Thank you. Sorry, I went a little bit over. And